Caden was invited to a friend's birthday party from school that was being held at Chuck E. Cheese, and I was very excited to jump on that invitation for me personally, because I haven't been to a Chuck E. Cheese in like probably over 2 decades, well over 2 decades. And I've heard a lot of rumors that Chuck E. Cheese has changed and improved quite significantly, because I think Chuck E. Cheese has garnered this sort of reputation among at least my generation of being kind of like low quality, poor food, and very expensive. And so I went to the Chuck E. Cheese with a very open mind, but I wasn't necessarily expecting to be blown away. And I wouldn't say that I was, but going as a parent is obviously going to give a much different perspective of Chuck E. Cheese. First of all, I can't really remember what Chuck E. Cheese was like back in the day, other than the tokens and the tickets and the fact that it was an arcade with pizza to a quality that I couldn't discern if it was good or not because I was a child. So let me just give a clean slate of the experience of Chuck E. Cheese that I experienced today. First things first, when you walk in the building, if you had a black light, you could see that I have a stamp with a very unique code, and myself, Sam, Caden, and Evelyn were all stamped or stickered with this specific code right at the door before you're even allowed in. This allows you to check your party as you leave to make sure that all the children are yours and that you're not trying to sneak any other kids out. I think one of the first things that gets talked about with Chuck E. Cheese is price, so I'll start there too to talk about. Their price structure is what I come to understand very different than what it used to be. You used to buy a certain amount of tokens. They've gone away with the tokens. Now it's just on a little plastic card that's sort of like a credit card that you scan, and all the tokens are tickets are managed on that. But they also allow you to just do unlimited play for a certain amount of money and a certain amount of time, which I think is way better. So we had 2 hours of unlimited play. We didn't personally pay for it. It came in the package with the birthday party, but I did look that it normally is about a little over $40 for 2 hours of gameplay, which sounds expensive. It kind of is, but depending on the circumstance in which you're there and the age that you have, that could, and I assume, save you a lot of money from maybe individual tickets. And it gives kids this sort of open freedom to just do whatever they want within that time frame, which I think is a better way to manage that cost as opposed to the tokens. Caden and I had so much fun. They have a section that's like for toddlers, like that age, the 3 to 4, where the cars are all smaller, the games are much more simple. Like there's no strategy, it's just go crazy and be as energetic as possible. And those kind of games Caden loved. And there's a lot of like very simple mechanic stuff that really registers with a toddler. So that was something that I wasn't too sure, if maybe some of these arcade games might be too hard or too complicated for them to be any sort of meaningful actual gameplay. But a lot of the stuff that was available there wasn't really about gameplay. It was just about interactive, physical, visual interactiveness. And so that was a lot of fun. The pizza, I mean, what do you say about it? It's cheap pizza, and I don't mean cheap costs. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to see what the individual pizzas cost, but I do want to comment on a birthday package that they have, which is $99, gets you 6 kids in, and that gives you 6 2-hour unlimited play passes for all those 6 kids, as well as some other sort of like unlimited drinks and various things. What it does not include is the pizza. And so obviously you can see there, if you get 6 for $100, that is a massive savings. So I'm thinking, are they making that up with? Well, it's a birthday party. You're going to invite people who probably wouldn't normally come to Chuck E. Cheese. They might be like me and be like, wow, I haven't been here a long time. This is really fun. Maybe I should come back. So it's sort of a level of advertising. Again, the pizza's not included. I also assume you're going to buy 4 or 5 pies for all of the kids and their parents. That I imagine is not cheap. But the key to what I think is Chuck E. Cheese's financial success is the fact that they sell alcohol. They do sell beer. It's about $8.49 for a domestic, and I think like an additional $1 for some premium beers, whatever those are. I didn't get any beers, but what is the overall takeaway of Chuck E. Cheese? It's still pretty much what it used to be. They no longer have the stage. They no longer have the animatronic show. It's now just a giant video wall that plays like, various little IP stuff. Like they have a Blippi section, and then they have, the mouse animation, and some people come on doing activities. Charles Entertainment Cheese himself came out and did make an appearance, which the kids were really into. But yeah, I mean, it's still Chuck E. Cheese. It's kind of low quality, in terms of the building is a little bit whatever, the people working there are a little bit whatever. You know that this place is working on a pretty thin margin. I know that the company itself has filed for bankruptcy at various points in its stage, and they've gone through many rebrandings. So I don't think it's ever been this booming business, and I don't think it ever will be. I think it just exists in this very specific place that they kind of know what their reputation is, and they're willing to work with it, and they are working with it. And it's fun. It's like a place to take your kids. I think there's way better things to do with your children for the money, especially if you're dealing with a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. There's more to access. But I will say, if you ever get invited to a birthday party and you don't have to pay for it, and everything's included there, it's so worth it. In that case, absolutely go. It's not something to avoid. It's just not the first place that I would take my children, given an afternoon with a certain amount of money. So that's it.